got another idea. I want to show you guys how to use a tool called the cutter in Harmony. This allows you to um, rig your character, kind of like Cartoon Network. You could have your pupil move up and down, and in that same way to keep your pupil, both pupil, not step out of your eye sockets. So create a very functioning eye structure like humans. Or you could still use that same function with the cutter in your mouth to like have your bottom teeth and the top teeth and the tongue stay in that structure. So another thing you could use that cutter tool, another instance you could have your character, let's say your character is walking in the woods and you have a bunch of trees and leaves, that cut through him. So you could use it like this, or you could have him walk in a city, he has to go to like a hidden door. And you could have a door where you set up a cutter if your character works, that it looks like he's going into a wall. So yeah, it's a cool function to know, especially in 2D. I'm talking this time around. It's not gonna be like a hand-drawn animation. It's gonna be strict rig animation. So let's learn that, and it should be good. So what I need to do now is just color everything. So it's gonna be as quick as possible. So I'm gonna pick my buckets, and then I'll move to my color. I created the neck. I call it skin now. So I'm gonna pick my skin color and then kind of like paint wherever I feel like the skin will be. I need to select the neck and then paint my neck too. And I think I have my beard. Okay, I have the beard color where I'll select the face and then paint the beard. It goes along with the hair. And I'll select my hair, paint also the black color. This is like a little string that people do attach the hair, so I'm gonna give it like a blue, like a dark blue. I'll call it hair piece, right? So I'm gonna paint that piece blue. Okay. Then I'm gonna come over here to my nose. I think I did this earlier, but I want to show it. So I want to paint my nose. I want to give it a color, but I want the left side of it to be open. So for that, I need to activate my stroke, which is the blue line. You could see it right there, right? And then all you have to do is hold on V, and then you kind of like create a shape that pleases you. So hold on V, and then you click and drag. I'm happy with that, right? And then I click my bucket, take the skin color, and paint. So I come to my eye. My eyes need to be white. I have the white color, paint it, right? Take this eye, paint it. Remember, as soon as I paint this, you can't see the left pupil anymore because it's hierarchy. So you need to kind of like move the eye to the back. I need my nose to be beneath the first eye, and I need the second eye to be even further down. Here we go. Now it makes sense. So I click my pupil, I give it a color. It's black. I mean, my beard is also black. I select the other pupil. You could select the other pupil, and then give it a color. You could create as many color slots as you want and name them according to your choice. So we're good with that. So then I think I need to paint my ear. Again, you can't paint this because it's not closed, right? So you need to close it. Activate the stroke with a K, hold on V, and then draw a shape that pleases you. I like that one. And then I go to my bucket and paint it. I think be very close. I need to paint my bottom T and my top T. So I need to say, create a new color. I call it T, right? Paint that one. Take the top one. Paint two. So I take my mouth. I need inside of my mouth to be a little bit dark, so I have the mouth color. I paint on that. So I don't want my teeth to be at the back. I want it to be to the front for now. So I'll push it to the front, right? And then I come to my body and give it a color. So I have the body color here. You just tap it. So if you look at the character, we have kind of like everything we need to rig and use the cutter. The cutter will serve me to take the teeth, right? Be able to have it inside the mouth and not slip out. I think I'm gonna create one more. I call it tongue. I'll stick my tongue over here, and I'm just gonna pick like a nice color that I think the tongue goes along with it, and I'm just gonna create something like that for now, not too complicated. All right, so cool. I'm gonna paint it the same color too. So that'll be my tongue. Actually, my tongue needs to be to the back. Right, so that'll be my tongue, bottom T, top T, my head. So when you're creating, sometimes your line sticks out. All you have to do is go Alt, Alt, right? You select that and then you delete. Again, you can do it. All the corners just remember Cartoon Network style. It's very, graphic style, kind of like like a thick outlines and So I take my A, which goes on top of my torso. Okay, so we need to start rigging the character. The first thing you need to do when you have a lot of elements you created on your node view, you could select all of them and press this button right here. It's kind of like rearrange it. So it's the third one, right? It kind of like rearrange it for you. So now the first thing I need to do is rig the one eye. Take this eye, rig it so that the pupil won't like go out of the eye. So the first thing I do, I want to select everything that I have here and press D. I want to get rid of it. Then I'm gonna have one eye left, right? So this is my elements. I have the eye and the pupil. I get rid of this too. So here's what you have to do. Take my pupil. First, I need to give it a control. It's called a peg in Toon Boom. So if you select your pupil and you say Command P from your Mac keyboard, and then you get this guy, the peg. And the peg allows you to select your shapes and move it around. And every time you move it, every time you move around, it creates a key for you. I'll explain about the key later. But for now, you need to control that. So every time you select your pupil, remember your pivot points, it's like far out. So if I had to rotate it, say it's rotating from the pivot point below. So in order to fix that, all you have to do is come to your pupil element, on that menu, on that little square, you click that, come to the bottom, it says use embedded pivots. Click that and then you go apply embedded pivots on parent peg. So that means the pivot point that you set on your drawing, the peg was gonna follow it. The peg is basically like a clipboard where you draw, you make a drawing, and then you put your drawing in a clipboard and move it. So that's the peg. So select my drawing on the peg, you come on the left side of the toolbar, this guy right here. It's like a target. It's called pivot point. You click that. It allows you to move this blue targets. You can move it like that, or you could simply just click in the middle of your pupil. Now, if you select it, you got your pivot point right in the middle. So that's how you set your pivot point, right? So now after that, all I need to do is select the eye, which I could also move the pivot quickly just to have it. And right. So I have my elements, right? I have the pupil and the eye. In order for this guy to not go out, I need to separate the eye and the outline. So let's say I select my eye, go Option S on your Mac keyboard. I want to select the color that I painted. See, you could move the color. And right now it's on line art slots. I call it layer. It's up to you. So I want to select my lines, cut it. I want to select the color and cut it, and then go down to the color slot and paste it. So now I have my eye drawing. One part of it, it's on a line art slot, and the color is on a color slot. So that's the first step, right? Now the second step is to create the cutter, how you call it, elements. So you come down to your timeline, and next to it you see Node Library. If you can't see Node Library, don't panic. You just click on that plus, and then you find Node Library right there. So you go in Node Library, and then you tap right here on that research bar. You tap cutter, and then you get a cutter. Your cutter looks kind of like that. You drag your cutter over here to your node view. So we're gonna do this thing together. I want to bring it down just to show you. So I have let me bring everything together. So the eye needs to come to the cutter. So I have my eye, right? You can see it because I plugged in, but I want the same eye to come to the cutter, right? Like that. Then I want the same cutter again to go to the front. So right now I'm gonna have my eye. Let me just remove this. So right now I'm gonna have my eye plugged in. I'm gonna have the eye go through the cutter, and I'm gonna have the cutter go again, stay in front of the eye. Then from here, I need to take the pupil and then plug it here. So now you can't see it. You can't see it because it's at the back. So I want to double click this guy. You see the ninja eyes? Sorry. So I want to invert it. The ninja eye. I think the eye need to come over here and the pupil need to come right there, right? So I reversed it. So you need your eye to be plugged in, and I need my eye to go through the ninja eye, and then you take the cutter, go to the front of the eye, and then you plug your eye straight in the middle. Now it looks like nothing happened, but if you select your eye, your pupil, sorry, and then you move it, see that? Now it's gonna cut through it. So if you have to animate your character, looking left or right or center, and if you move it towards the end of the eye, it won't show anymore. So that's how you use the cutter for the eyes. I'm just gonna back it, right? So now we have it. This is one eye rig, right? I'm gonna put this thing on. So again, I'm gonna take my second eye, which is this guy, bring it to the front, like that. and then I'm gonna look for my pupil. Great, so I have these two elements. You could actually remove your pupil if you want, but I'll leave it for now. So you come down to the node view, create a cutter, bring your cutter, plug the eye to the comp, and then from that blue line, you could pull another string, another line. So you pull it from that exit, from the input, right? The input and the output. You know, pull another line to the output, to the input, sorry. And then you plug it to those Ninja Eye. I want to reverse my Ninja Eye like that, but I think I skipped one step. You want to go into your eye, select the color, cut it, paste it into your color slot right there, right? Now I want you go back to the color, take from the, I'll say input. You take your input, bring it in front of the eye. So if I select both, you see my eye go here, and my cutter goes right after that. So then all you have to do is take the pupil. You could take it from the input and bring it over here to the cutter. Now I need to manipulate that, right? I need to create first I need to set my pivot point like that. And then I need to create a peg, which is Command P from your Mac keyboard. And I have my pupil peg. So whatever you name your elements, I call it right pupil. When you create a peg, it's gonna add a P at the end of it. So now I have the peg. It makes it easier to, I'm on my timeline, right? I select my right pupil and then shift select my right one. You could move it now. They won't go out. See that? Could take one and bring it down. They won't go out. That's kind of cool, right? Cool. I think after that, I need to rig my mouth, right? So I need to find my layer of my teeth, that one, and I find the bottom of it. I need to find my mouth, and I need to find my tongue. So here we go. Another thing you could do is you could create, this is a man comp that connects everything to the display. But if you have a thing like this where you need to like rig it, you could create another comp. You could go to that burger sign, insert the comp, right? I have it, right? You could unplug everything and then just plug the comp. And then it's right there. So it's a comp and another comp. And then you have your elements just to be organized, right? So what I need to do is go in my mouth, do the same exact thing. Copy the color, cut it, put it to the color slots, right? And then see I have the first, the bottom T. I create a cutter. You bring another cutter. Right? You do the same thing. So I want my mouth to cut through the teeth. So I'm bringing my mouth to that ninja sign, invert it. So if you can double click to invert it, or you could click that yellow square and then invert it from there. And I want my bottom T over here, and I want my cutter over there. Now, you could tell, right? It's in there now. So if I create a peg and I set the pivot point, Now I could easily move my teeth. Just because you can't tell, I want this guy. Right? But I want my outline to be black, just so you could see. Okay, so I have that. Then I'm going to do something to get rid of the outlines later on. So then I'll take this one. I want it to go right here, so I could insert the comp, take the comp, and then plug my other teeth right there, right? And I want the outline to be black. So now that I have it like this, I'm gonna set my pivot point. I'm gonna set my peg. Now I could move it, but I want to get, so now you notice that the bottom T and the top T are cutting, but the outline getting lost, right? All I have to do is just come to the node view, research auto patch, bring that auto patch, and then towards the mouth that goes to the cutter, I need to patch it. So if you insert that patch, now you're gonna have the mouth outline, won't cause any problem anymore. So you could have your teeth going like that. So let me see if I change it, right? So I want to reverse back to the white outline for the bottom T and the top T. So I'm gonna actually have a color here. So I'm gonna paint it white. Paint it white. Cool. Now you have the top teeth and the bottom. I did have my tongue here. All I have to do, insert the tongue beneath the top teeth and the bottom teeth. So, which I need to bring my mouth, my tongue to this comp right here. Take it and bring it to the top. Because if I leave it here, it's in front of the mouth. I need to bring it for the mouth to cut it. So I could bring it to the back and set the pivot point. Right? And bring the pivot point over here. Create a peg. Now we have kind of like full-on working character. These are like how Cartoon Network show, how they animate the characters, how they rig the character for animation. So you could have move your tongue like that. You could have your purple. You could have it like that. And I think I have all the piece from just using the cutter. So now remember, let me demonstrate something. My eye, this is my eye, right? If I move my eye, I want it to go with the pupil because it's part of one. It's in the pupil is an attribute of this eye, so it wants to like move it. It has to go with it. It has to like control it. So your eye, you need to create a peg, and then you take that peg. The input of the peg, kind of like control the output of the pupil. So now if you select the eye and move it, it goes with your pupil, and your pupil rig doesn't get broken because you could still select it. It's still gonna cut. So I want to do it for both. Select this eye, create a peg, actually set the pivot, and then do that, and take the eye input to control the eye output. That way, you know, we could do that. So now that we have everything selected, so now let's say you had your character, you wanted to close his mouth, to close the mouth, you select the layer of the mouth, which is this one, right? Easy. This is the drawing of the mouth. If you go on your library, you could see the shape of the mouth. So now let's say your character wanted to close his mouth, but you have the rig going on. Easy. All you have to do is just create a new drawing. If you click this one, it's gonna delete the drawing. But remember, it's gonna give you two. The two means you now have two drawing in this one element. So if I take that slider, I slide it back, I have my mouth. So if I move to the second drawing, I didn't draw anything, so now I could draw another mouth like that, right? I could draw another mouth like that. You have your character. And if you select your second drawing of the mouth, you come to like the brackets on your keyboard, you switch between the brackets. You switch bracket, you go up, it changes the mouth shapes, right? So that's something to know. I also want my tongue to be, this is my tongue, right? That is perfect. Okay. Oh yeah. So I did something. I want my mouth to be exactly in the line arts. It's perfect, right? So I could have my character with the mouth closed. I could select the mouth, and then the brackets on your keyboard, click on that bracket. If you don't want to click the bracket, you come on your library, you could switch mouths. So that's how you do lip sync. So you create a bunch of mouths and then you switch them. So now all I have to do from now then is just find a way to control. So I want my mouth to control every single element attached to it. So I create a peg. So I want my peg, I create a peg for my mouth. Then set the pivot, right? And then take the mouth peg and let it control every single element attached to it. So that way, if I select my mouth, I could move it and the rig won't get broken. So that's perfect, right? So that controls my eyes, that, you know. So now I need to find a way for the head to control everything attached to it. Because right now, if I take my head, right, and then say I create a pivot, I place the pivot exactly like that. I want my pivot point to be kind of like over here, and then create a peg. So if I move my head right now, it's not following. See that? It is not following. So I need to find a way to like make my eye, everything, my nose, and to follow. I need to move this guy. Right, so all I have to do is create a peg for my nose and then let the head control it. And then take my eye and let my head peg control the eye peg. And take my head peg, control my other eye peg. And my, you know, that. And then I look for my ear. Where's my ear? Over here. So my ears are not controlled by by my head, right? So I need to create a peg for it. Remember, I didn't set the pivot point because sometimes you could have movement on your ear. I set a pivot and let my head control it, right? So what other elements? I need my hair to be controlled by the head. So I select, I get the peg for my head, and then let my head control it. So now if I select my head and I rotate, it follows. Most of the element follow. All I need to add is this eyelashes. So I take my eyelash, there's eyelash and the other eyelash, create pegs for it, and let my head control them. Right, got something? Great. And now everything is kind of like controlled by everything, right? We got that. So I need my neck to control everything above it. I want my neck to control everything in the head. So I'll take my neck, set a pivot because it's important, right? Set that pivot point, create a peg, and I want my neck to control my head. Now if I select my neck, which I need to set the pivot correctly, if I select my neck, I could move everything. Now I want my body to control everything else. It's kind of cool. I'll take my body, set the pivot, right? And create a peg and let my torso control my neck. So now if I select this, I could control my whole body. If I select my head, I could control this. Now, the character look pretty cool. I just want to introduce like something called a deformer because it's like very important, and we're gonna use it because I want to demonstrate some animation with this guy. So after rigging, you select your hair. This is my hair layer. You select it, and there's a hammer over here. So if you select your hair elements, select it like that, and then on your top toolbar, there is something called rigging tool. Construct a deformation chain on the selected drawing with a combination of deformers. So all you do is click that, and then click over here, click on a source, like where the hair is supposed to like rotate. You click and drag. It's gonna give you a handle, and then you let it go like halfway, right? Then without doing anything, do not click anywhere else. You click towards the end of your hair, where you think the tip of your hair. You click that, and then you click and drag. Do not let go, and then you bring it back. It creates a deformer. So it places a deformer between your hair elements and the peg. Now you get this guy, right? That allows you to, if you go to the animation mode, you could do this, you could do that, you could move your hair now, right? That's kind of cool. You could pull it as long as you want. You could shorten it how you want to. This is perfect. This is what we need, right? So I want to do the same for the lashes. I'll find my lashes. These are my lashes. Easy. You come to the hammer, to the deformer. You see the icon, the hammer, and then you hammer this guy from here to the middle, and then you click over here. You bring it. You want to do it for the other lashes too. You do that. It's perfect. Then you could move your lashes like that, or you could do that. So you could build in some sad See, don't panic if you bring your lashes down and it's not, so you could like manipulate your stuff like that. Don't panic if you bring your lashes and they kind of like, if I bring it, it kind of like disappear. All you have to do is find it. Find the lashes, right? This is my lashes. This is my lash. And this is my lash. So all you have to do is bring them to the front, because your lashes goes in front of your eye. So they, you know, in the hierarchy, they have to do to the front. So here we go. This is what I wanted to show you about the cutter. It's a cool tool. So you select your eye and select them like that, right? You select both. You look to the down like that. They're not gonna cut. You could bring them like that. They're not gonna cut. That's pretty cool. You could bring your teeth like that, right? Select your mouth and switch it. So that's pretty cool. So here you have it. That's the cutter for you. See you on the next video where I'll try and animate it, give it a little, give it life, right? All right. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. All right. Bye.